just a little bit closer for you guys there. Alright, fix the tint. Welcome back, folks. It's been a couple of days here, but I've been trying to get back to you guys here, and a lot of obstacles in the way. So, just kind of letting people get into the chat room here as we start to address this video here. Let me find a pointer for tonight's. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. This is September 21st, 2023. Okay, today's activity. Let's see if we can turn this a little more that way. There we go. Alright, howdy folks. Get everybody here in the chat room. Give them a minute to get in before we start this report. As you can see, we've had 3 different CMEs today. This one, and then a third one down here. So 2 down south. There's a little one right there. Then we have this one, this big one, and this one. Okay? So 3 CMEs on the sun today on September 21st. And we'll go through this frame by frame here. Let the loop come back around here. Alright, back up a couple frames. There's some people in the chat room finally. Alright, so our opening frame for today, 024, and then we'll start going forward here. You can see the tail end of an event over here moving out of frame. The very opening here. Quick little sputter right here. Some little object right there. Something streaked through here too. You can see right there, something streaked between the satellite and the sun. Those are digital artifacts from the computer. Then, as we have this one start down below here, see how it's connected out to this right here as well? Then we have a second one. Over on this side, you can make out the object a little bit better than in the black and white. But you can clearly see, back up here, our little spheroid dark object right there. Okay, then here's our third CME come out the bottom here. So let me back up a frame here. So our third one coming out, see this all wrapped all in plasma right here. It's really hard to see the object, but in a ghost image here, whoops, right there, we can zoom in on this, please. Come on, let me zoom in. You can see right here the ghost image of the round object right here. Yeah, right. That's probably pretty good right there. Right here is our ghost image of our round object. It appears that there is a secondary one too. Anyways, let's go next. Alright, so that was today's. Now what I want to do is kind of go backwards in time. Let's go to yesterday's. This is the 20th, alright? And we'll start this one. Oops. Alright, we'll let that one play for a second here. So you can see the 20th. This is yesterday's. Okay, and this is a day that I was concerned about because whatever happens here on the 20th will arrive on the 23rd. And the 23rd is a very prophetic day. It's the 6-year anniversary of the Revelation 12 star alignment that happened. Now, this object down here, when it comes out, it appears to have wings of some kind. It might be some kind of ship or something. And what I'll do is I'll try to zoom in on this frame right here. Now let's go back a few frames, move it forward. Now let me go ahead and just start this loop, and we'll watch this thing when it comes out. It appears to have like wings on it or something. It's more than just a round object. And we need to slow that down too. Alright, so all this energy here on the 20th is what's due to hit us on the 23rd, okay? So we got quite a bit of energy from today's, yesterday's, and then now I'm going to take you also back to the day before. Actually, let's just pause on this for a second here. The opening frame. Alright, this opening frame right here, you can see we have an object here, one down here. So at the very beginning, it's blasting, maybe a fourth one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. And that's the opening of the 20th. Then we have this big event on the side over here. What's funny is right in the middle of the sphere, you can see this little UFO show up right there. Right in the middle of it. Almost like indicating that, hey, look right here. See the little UFO that showed up right in that spot right there? It happens to coincide with the middle of this object right there. So there's some UFO either monitoring this object as it comes in or checking it out or whatever. But here, we'll go zoom in just a tad bit more. Alright, so you can see this UFO showing up right here, right in the middle of this event. And over on this side, whoops, you can see this is where our object is right here, and here's this UFO showing up. They blotted it out. They put a little square over it right here to kind of hide it or whatever, but you can see it popping out right in front of this object as it comes out. Now let me back out of this a little bit here. So we go to the next frame. And you can see that there was something, a secondary one here moving out. Then we have this event up here. Something big right in this area right here. Maybe you guys can see that a little bit better if I do it like that. And you can see this plasma damming up on the back side of this, whatever it is here. Let me back it up just a bit. Appears to be something big and round right here, and then as it moves out, plasma dams up behind the back side of it. Watch as we go forward. See that? So there was another bigger object right there. So a bunch of little ones and a big one, and then this thing with what looks like wings on it. Let me try to get a better shot of this. There's a good shot of it right there. And you make out what look like little wings coming off of it on each side here. Let's go one more. There's a good shot of it. Let's see if we can go in a little tighter. There we go. So some round spheroid center with what looked to be like wings or something coming off, because they have little little wakes coming off of them. All right, so that came off on the 20th. That's what's due to buzz us on the 23rd, okay? Very important date, because when we go to the weather report, I want you to take note of these days. So let me zoom back out all the way. I went too far. There we go. All right, so as that thing continues to move on out, whatever it is, you can see the instrument reacting to it. It's got a dent in the red stream right there with this round circular thing. Let's get that frame real quick. So you can see how the instrument's reacting to it right here. Alright, then you can see its wake all stretched out behind it there. Okay, so that was the 20th. Then also, let's go back to the 19th, because we have some more activity going off on the 19th. A couple of events right down here. These are two separate events, one right there and a second one right there. So, one right there, one there, and then a second one, or a third one, sorry, right here. So this is the 19th. This is what will be hitting us on the 22nd now. This is what the energy is inbound for tomorrow. All right? So we're covering the next 3 days worth of stuff, or we are due for another 3 days in a row of inbound energy. And other things. You come over here to this instrument, freeze on some of these frames, and take a look for yourself, because it's just getting too fantastical for me to continue to describe without YouTube or the world thinking I'm nuts. So you guys come over here and see it for yourself sometimes too, if you don't believe me. Anyways, so this is the 19th. This is energy that will be hitting us tomorrow, the 22nd, okay? Then we have the 20th and the 21st. So we have 3 days in a row of inbound energy. Let's take a peek at the 22nd already here. It's got some data, if it'll play it. Come on. It's only 9 frames, play it. You know, let this upload real quick or something. Anyways, this is current activity, just this latest activity here. If it'll load up. Okay, boom, right here, and another one up here. Oh, there we go. Alright, you guys seeing this? So this is the 22nd. This is current conditions right now. Okay, so we have 4 days in a row of inbound energy. All right, starting on the 19th here, going through the 20th, the 21st, and now into the 22nd. All right, so we've got a very active, very busy sun, and we also have this sunspot We had the huge filament lift off the other day. We also have this huge sunspot 3435 that's still active and pumping out a lot of stuff, okay? We've had two of these huge M flares, an M8.2 and now an 8.7, okay? That's this one right here. This is the 8.7, and here's the 8.2, okay? So we've had some pretty good size eruptions in the last couple of days, and this is all inbound energy that will be hitting us starting now. Okay, this one looked like it was about to lift up higher until the satellite eclipsed it or whatever. So I don't think we got a very good true reading on this one, which was probably going to be another M flare. So we have like 3 to 4 M flares because there was one previous day back here as well. So we've had some M flares here, almost X flare, 8.7. Some people reporting 9. Let's just kind of go through these. Here's the 8.7 that we had, the radio blackout zone. Let's just click on this real quick, see if we can get a bigger image of it. Oh, come on, there we go. All right, hit right in the Atlantic Ocean, mostly Africa and the tip of South America right here, okay? So there's an R2 radio blackout today in that area because of the 8.7 that lifted off earlier today. And I saw it earlier today. I was going to bring you a daytime report, but then all kinds of stuff came up. So here's our big sunspot right here that's producing all this, a lot of this activity. Here's our 8.2 flare that we had. Okay, that's the other one. And then here's our M4. This is the other solar flare, the M4 that I was talking about, all right? So we've had an M4, an M8.2, and an 8.7. So 3 M flares within the last few days here, okay? Then let's scooch it over here to the tracker. Let's open up the tracker real quick. While this is loading up, I saw one report already of one sideswiping us. Let's see if they've updated this yet. Oh, this one's kind of moving off to the south here, which is good. We don't need any more inbound plasma. We got enough as it is already, so at least the CME and the shock wave from it, on this one at least, they're showing heading away, so that's good. I saw another one that probably from yesterday, I think, that showed it sideswiping Earth just a tad bit. So we do have inbound energy coming in. We did have some pretty good auroras here the other day. That's why I wanted to report too, is to show you we had some red bands show up in the auroras, but right now nothing too bad. We're pretty intense green, pretty wide band right here on this side, as well as over North America here. Okay, and then just the KP index. Oh, there was a big spike the other day, but it's already past that. Okay, let's move on to the Schumann resonance now, if we can. All right, so here's our Schumann resonance for the last few days here. All right, it's already zoomed in as much as I can. Well, we're just kind of leave it here. There's a screeching event right here that's just about to go off the page right here at the very beginning. Right, you can barely see my pointer here, but then we had another small one, a break, another small one, another break. Now we're having another one. We're having current conditions show us going through another screeching event here. What I'm concerned about is the strength of this line going across the 7.83 hertz, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition right now, even though we're kind of going through this screeching event. Let's see if I can just move the camera a minute so you can just see our latest readings right there. Okay. So the energy coming in gets directed to the poles send it to the core heats up and expands. It heats up the outer shell, or the shell that goes around the core. It heats up and expands, but can't expand outward because of all the magma and the crust. So it can only expand back down onto the core, and they grind together. This low frequency of them grinding together goes through the mantle, goes up through the crust, and emanates from the crust out into space. It hits the ionosphere and bounces back down as an echo. That's what this instrument does, is detect echoes that are bouncing back down. This is our core grinding in its shell, these white screeches right here, okay? And you can see where it kind of gets strong and fades out a little bit. So we've had some fluctuations in our magnetic field. It's still going strong, but we are having some of these grinding events as these CMEs come in, okay? And you can see them laid out here. I knew these were coming in because of the CME events. You know, it's just kind of... it took a little while to figure it out, but they take 3 days, roughly 3 days to get here, just depending on the speed of the CME. But on average 3 days, and then it takes a few hours for it to absorb into the core before we start having these screeching events. And I expected, you know, this one here, this one, and probably a third one. It looks like it's a little more delayed, and it's happening here now, but still pumping right along. Okay, we still got a magnetic field. It's still holding up pretty strong, so that's good. All right, let's move over to the earthquakes here. Okay, start over here. Now, the other day there was a deep earthquake here. It was a 4.5, and you know, usually puts about 5.0 energy into the system. So here's some of the energy being entering the system and being released. Now this is a good size one, a 6.1 at a depth of 188. So that's still a little bit deep for a 6.1. So at the surface, that's 6.2 to 3. Okay, then we have this one, which is a 5.0 at a depth of 10. Up here, we have another 5.0 at a depth of 148, so a little bit stronger at the surface there. Up here by Japan, we've had, give me this bigger one, please. A 5.7 here by Japan at a depth of 12, and then an aftershock of 4.7 at a depth of 10 there. So we got some of this energy creeping up the system here. It also went down here to the Kermadec Islands and dumped off the 5.7 there. Some of this energy is moving over here to this side, going through. We got a 4.7 here, 4.4 there, 4.5 there, another 4.6 over here. So this energy is kind of hopped over and is dispersing out, going up through the system here, dumped off 4.4. Now this is a really deep one. This pit right here and this other pit seemed to produce some deep earthquakes. So this is a 4.4 at a depth of 574. So that might cause other little earthquakes to creep up this section up in here, okay? Because this is a deep quake. It's going to disperse out in all directions and put more pressure in this system. So I expect to see this area that's really quiet right here, this zone that's quiet, to fill in now that deep quake has struck. Over here, this is a rare quake over in Vietnam, a 4.6 to the depth of 10. So, yeah, some of this energy crept up and maybe jumped over to here maybe, and that's why we have this quake over here in Vietnam, because of this deeper one right here. Nothing at the fulcrum point here, but we do have one up there, 4.4 in Afghanistan. That's at a depth of 205, so at the surface 4.7 maybe. Coming over here, Iran, it looks like. Yeah, Iran, 4.4 at a depth of 10 there. And where was the other one? Oh, yeah. Look up here. Where to go? Way up here at Greenland. This quake up here, a 4.7 at a depth of 10 up here at Greenland. See this thing? And as I pull back, it's almost at the top of the world. So we've had an earthquake way up here at the top of the world almost. So then, just a few ones here. There was one here in California that I wanted. No, that's not it. It's already off the map. But we had one here at the Cocos Plate. This is a pretty recent one. This was red when I started to set up for the show tonight. So our latest recent quake right here at the Cocos Plate, 4.9 at a depth of 47. And I just let's see if this is on land or in water. Okay, it's right there on the shelf. Okay, right in the middle of the shelf. Here's like the edge right here. Kind of hard to see. You can see it here, but it would run right through there. So it's up in the middle of that weak zone. That's fine as long as it doesn't cause a underwater landslide. So there's the quake report. Well, let's take a peek here at South America real quick. Some of this energy pushed over and dumped off 4.9 here at a depth of 131. We have a 4.3 here at a depth of 193 and another 4.5 at a depth of 204. So some of that 5.0 energy from the deep quake here yesterday pushed down here, pushed up through the system, came across, triggered some over here in South America. All right, so, another thing here, since we are past September 21st, which was the last day of summer, we are now into the fall. And look at what's going on. This is our polar vortex starting to take shape here over the northern hemisphere now. Instead of being all jostled and rotating backwards, it's actually starting to establish its regular rotation here. Okay, so that's good. Then let me take you down to the southern polar vortex, and you can see that it is starting to weaken. It's got a little side loop here that's starting to deteriorate the strength of this one. Also, the center is now way down here on the continent. It's not way up here in the middle. So it's offset, and it has another vortex that's starting to weaken it. So their winter is over, and our summer is over. And their polar vortex is starting to weaken, and ours is starting to take shape again. Okay? Just so you guys can see that real quick. Do you guys want to see what the fires look like right now while we're here? Hit bio. Come over here, click on fires. It looks better on a black background, so you hit the space. Here we go. Get that out of the way. As you can see here, South Africa still got a lot of fires going on there. Madagascar. And come over here to South America. You can see it's got quite a bit of fires going on too. We come up here to North America, mainly up here in Canada, while they're having auroras. There we go. The aurora part on this is actually kind of dulling the little dots that indicate the fires. So there's that. Let me just change to chemicals. Let's go to sulfur dioxide, shall we? If it'll give it to me. There we go, thank you. And we'll take out the wind. Then we'll go up here to these fires and see how they correlate with these hot spots where sulfur dioxide is leaking from the ground, okay? This is the magma pushing out the gases that are caught in it, pushing it out through the perforations in the crust, causing plumes of sulfur dioxide. It's also so hot that it's triggering spot fires from underground. Do you think there's a correlation here? I mean, does it look pretty self-evident? That's why I put these two together, the fires with the sulfur dioxide, because this sulfur dioxide comes from underneath the ground, from the lava, okay? It's not dew or directed energy weapons that are starting all these fires up here. It's lava pushing up from underground, starting them from underground. Okay, showed you this several times. But while we're here, let's just take a little peek at who's leaking. Here's another incident now in Northern California where we have a plume of sulfur dioxide with accompanying fires. Okay, it's not only in British Columbia or up in Canada now. Now we have it here in Oregon, California area right here. Okay, there's another little one right here on the coast. Can you see these? Let me try to centralize this a little bit better. There's a bunch of little ones in here. Well, try it now. There we go. Now you guys can see there's little faint ones up in here and stuff. Okay, so this is just this one little dot right here on the coast. Okay, I think that's up into Oregon a little bit. And then we have this right there. Okay, so it's starting to creep down and starting fires here on the west coast. Well, let's pull back and look at the whole country as a whole here. Still divided down the middle. The eastern half bleeding out profusely. Just sulfur dioxide. This has been going on day after day after day for quite a while now. So these huge plumes of the sulfur coming out of the ground. Over here on the west coast, it's not so bad. We do have little sporadic ones. Here's another fire right next to a plume here. This looks to be, well, it's east of Washington, probably here in Idaho, Montana somewhere. See this one I'm zooming in on right here? So here's another plume of sulfur dioxide with an accompanying fire here in Idaho. Okay, so it's no longer just up here in Canada. It's spreading down. Here's some other ones that are further south in Canada that are starting to accompany the plumage. Okay, so it's spreading. Even, wow, even here into Oregon, Washington, showing some fires right here just south of this plume. You guys see that? These reports are getting harder and harder to do. Come over here. Oahu is still spewing SO2. That's good. It's relieving stuff. There's a little fire right here by this plume here in Hawaii. See that little spot right there? So, well, we got Canada, California, Idaho, Hawaii, all having fires next to these plumes. That could be lava. I'm not sure on that one, but then let's move over here to China. And their fires aren't showing up, strangely, because they were... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you jumping screens on me for? I didn't want that. You know what? Take that one out now. Alright, back to where we were here. There are some faint ones up in here. They're red dots among the burgundy, so it's hard to see, but China as well. There's a pretty strong plume coming off of this one. Yep. Nah, that's just one little small dot fire. I'm just kind of going around here to see. Now, when we look here at the Middle East, there's a lot of fires, but not a lot of them match up with the plumes. Some do, but most don't. Over here in the Egypt area, we got a few. Alright, so down here at the bottom of Africa, of course this one right here has a little spot and a plume right here. So Africa, we could add Africa to that list. Here's some plumes with fires at them right here in South America. Okay, so it's not just up in Canada. It's happening all around the world. Here's some other plumes up here with corresponding dots to them, see? All over South America. And then they have this concentration of this all the way up and down the coast here in South America. These are all individual sites. It's not like one plume in a big cloud. These are all individual sites. Concentrated ones right here at the fulcrum point, okay? Okay, so that's enough of that. Now, let's come over to our forecast here. And everybody grab your sodas, grab a drink. Let me take a sip here. Actually, let me go say a prayer too. I'm going to put this into motion. I want you guys to watch this storm come up and hit North Carolina, bounce out, and then come back and hit it again. Boom. It hits it. It dissipates, goes out to the ocean, circles back down around. Now watch this. Boom. It hits the same area a second time. So let some of that data upload real quick. I'll be right back here. Bear with me just a second. I'll give you guys a minute to get ready for this weather forecast here. Okay, here we go. Let me get this all going now. Thanks for your patience, folks. Alright, let's just pause it here and start backing it up. Also, let me try to move the map up a little bit further for you guys so you can see this. I can still use the buttons. Alrighty, so this is our current conditions right now, the night of September 21st, okay? Now watch as this storm moves onshore here. All of this activity, starting from this very moment, is going to be more intense than what this computer model is showing, I think, because it's not taking into account all the inbound energy. So this storm and these thunderstorms here are tapering off right now. This one's going to increase over the nighttime. That's the morning of the 22nd. It's going to start to make landfall tomorrow morning. It's going to hit North Carolina right on the tip right there. This is the noon time, okay? You got clouds back up in here and stuff. All this, you're going to have convection tomorrow. It's showing yellow up in this area. So there was a lot of convection today. I watched some storm chasers chase some pretty big thunderheads today. And the weather is intensifying. So now this is the end of convection right here tomorrow, September 22nd. This is going to be a lot more powerful than what it appears on this map. And it's hitting North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Okay, so, and that's at the end of convection, so it's going to be a lot stronger than that. Then, through the nighttime of the 22nd, it's still moving onshore. Then it strikes 5 a.m. in the morning on the 23rd, okay? This is the 23rd. This is the 6-year anniversary of the star alignment right here. This is intensifying in the morning hours, all right? That's not good. It's usually dissipating in the morning hours. Here's the nighttime. Here's the morning, all right? So it's really squaring off on North Carolina right there. Reaching into Tennessee, up into Kentucky, Virginia. All right, so the East Coast is going to get walloped by this thing on the 23rd. So that's 5 a.m., well, 8 a.m. in the morning for them. That's the noontime hours. Then the end of convection. This is going to be a lot more intense. So is this back up in here, okay, on the 23rd, because I showed you the inbound energy from the 20th. Then it really winds up right here, reaches down. We have this intense part down in Oklahoma, up here in Minnesota, reaching back here, while this thing is still walloping on the East Coast. This is the nighttime of the 23rd, going into the morning of the 24th. Noontime of the 24th, the end of convection the 24th. Now this doesn't show much, but I have a feeling this is going to be intense down in here. This will still be strong over there. And we got this thing moving into the west coast up here. Then this is the nighttime of the 24th. So between the end of convection, it's going to blossom at nighttime through Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and here as this thing makes landfall here in the northwest. Still residual effects over here in New York. And this is the nighttime of the 24th. Now we go into the morning of the 25th, noon, the end of convection the 25th, okay? Now, this is moving in on the west coast. The rest of the country kind of clears up a little bit, but I want you to watch this. This is residual moisture right here, wraps back around and comes and hits it again. So this is the nighttime of the 25th, morning of the 26th, noon the 26th, into convection the 26th, nighttime the 26th. Then this thing, this low finally makes landfall here on the morning of the 27th. It kind of scatters and dissipates, but now this thing has curled back around and is going to wallop the same area again. That's the morning of the that's noontime the 27th. There's the end of convection the 27th. So this little thing has wrapped back around and is aiming right back at the same spot again. Boom, that's the nighttime of the 27th. The morning of the 28th, it's just walloping the same area again. So watch out for flash flooding in this area. I mean, you guys are going to get pounded with a lot of water, possible tornadoes, hail. So I'd get ready for, if you're in this area right here, for a double whammy. This is the morning of the 28th. The noon of the 28th. Up here in Canada, watch out for this, too. The end of convection, the 28th, as it scoots up the east coast here into Pennsylvania and lower New York. The end of convection, the 28th. That's the nighttime. It intensifies right over Pennsylvania there on the 28th, nighttime of the 28th. There's the morning of the 29th. Look how intense and red this is right here on the morning of the 29th. Looks like the Capitol's about to get walloped. Then this is noontime the 29th, the end of convection the 29th, the morning of the nighttime of the 29th, morning of the 30th right there. It's still hanging out here in this area on the 30th. This is noontime, the end of convection the 30th, nighttime of the 30th, morning of the 1st, the 2nd, or noon, the end of convection the 1st, and there's still this energy offshore looping back around and raining here on the East Coast. That's the nighttime of the 1st, morning of the 2nd, noon, 5 p.m. That's the end of convection, October 2nd, and it's finally starting to move off the coast here. That's nighttime of the 2nd, morning of the 3rd. We got this thing winding up here too. We got to watch out for. That's the noontime of the 3rd, the end of convection the 3rd, nighttime, morning of the 4th, noon. You got a convection, something going on up here at the very border of Washington, Canada up there. This is 11 p.m., nighttime of the 4th, morning of the 5th. Okay, so it kind of clears out for the rest of the country for the rest of this. Watch out for this low here on October 6th up here in Canada. So the rest of this we don't really know too much about because we don't know any more inbound energy. So watch this form hit, come back out, and then double whammy it. Okay, so for the next 3 days, this region right here is under the gun. They're in the target area right here, okay? They got a double whammy coming at them right here. All right, starting to loop over again right here. So this is the first, boom. It hits, makes landfall, it dissipates, comes back out, drops back down, forms, and comes back in and hits it again. So the East Coast is on high alert for intensive thunderstorms and intense weather on this strip of the East Coast right here, okay? And we'll let that loop play one more time here. Here's the beginning. Boom, it hits right there. Dissipates. Moves offshore here. Comes back down and punches it again. So watch out for flash flooding, hail, severe weather in this whole area over the next couple of days here, starting now, because here you can see these outer bands are starting to reach onshore right now. This is current conditions. That's 5 a.m. in the morning. That's the morning tomorrow morning. That's at noon. So 1, 2 in the afternoon or so, this should be really making landfall here on the coast about 2 p.m. tomorrow, or 2 p.m. their time. Okay, and then it goes into the night or the afternoon hours, and it's winding up almost like a little hurricane. Okay, it's drawing moisture out from here and bringing it right on shore. So this is like a small little hurricane, tropical storm hitting, and it's going to be dumping a lot of water. Then it goes back out to sea, loops back around, and comes back in again for a second stab at the same area. Okay, so that's the Alright, let's go backwards through this. Just real quick. So starting. Well, this is the very beginning here again. So starting tomorrow morning at about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. East Coast time, this thing's going to make landfall on the 22nd through the nighttime into the 23rd. This is when we have all this energy coming in, okay? So this 22nd through 23rd, then they get a break from the 24th. It loops back out and comes back in on the 27th at about the morning of the 27th, then noontime right there, the end of convection the 27th. So the 23rd, 27th through the 28th time frame, the East Coast is going to be under the gun. Okay, and that's just what the GFS is predicting without the inbound energy that I showed you is going to intensify this. Okay, so let's just put it back in the loop real quick again. Let you guys watch, and then we'll close out with the spiritual report. For those of you here for the solar report, we're done with that part and the forecasting. I bet most of you guys were like, hurry up with that stuff and get to the spiritual one. Before I go on, just a little reminder, Mike from Around the World was on Paul Begley tonight. You should go listen to his show. A lot of information in there you guys need to get ready for. So what I'm going to do is take you over here to what I had set up. I'm sure they got to shove an ad in there real quick now. Come on. You got to shove your ad in. Play the thing. Oh, it's lawyers. Yeah. Yeah, let me take a third of your settlement. There we go. Yeah, nothing even happened to me. I'm just going to take a third of your money. Alright, so we're going to come over here to this. Let me rewind this part a little bit. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because this is an event that happened just right after the star alignment, okay? So this is, 10 days, 11 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment back in 2017. Some amazing stuff started happening to me, and this is stuff that was captured by my security camera. So we're gonna leave off with this if I can get this straightened out. Hang in there, my hokey system here. Can we have some sound? So I've been going through some of the old photos and running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying, all three at once. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me, something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you instead. So in this image here, I'm sitting here praying, and Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it. Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel. The silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here. And you can even see his head right here. Going a little bit tighter. All right. I think this captures it pretty well. I'm going to do some tinting a little bit here. Also, I want to point out this feather right here comes off the wing and crosses over these brown roof tiles. This is a stack of roof tiles on the floor, and there's nothing in between there. That white streak right there is actually the feather off of these wings crossing into our realm. Now, hopefully, you guys can see this angel with his back to us and his wings spread. Will you guys in the chat let me know if you can see that? If you guys can see that image right there of this angel with his back to us. Let me back it up just a tad bit to right about here. Going a little bit tighter. Right there. Whoops. Oh, good. You guys can see the angel then. Okay, good. Now, this is captured by my security cameras, okay? This is admissible as evidence in a court of law. Alright, that's a real angel. And that was Mary's face right there in the very beginning here. Let's go back to this a little bit here.
Right
see
next
if you guys...
to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can...
Alright, let me see if we can tint this out a little bit better for you guys here too. It's kind of hard to see, but let's try. Here's her eye. She's looking down at my head this way, so it's not a profile, it's like a 3/4. So her eye, the ridge of her nose running down here, and the other eye be on the other side. Her shawl is coming over. This dark area is the shadow on the inside of her shawl. It comes over, wraps around her face right here, and then the rest of it drapes down behind her head there.
Make out her eye, and her nose coming down. Her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it.
The God eye.
Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel. The silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his...
Okay. So in this image, all three are captured. God eye, Mary, and an angel. Well, usually when all of these are together, there's Jesus too. So we got God, Mary, an angel, but where's Jesus? Well, he's in there if you know what to look for. Now, that happened on October 5th of 2017, just 11 days, 12 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment. Mary, angels, God started showing up on my security cameras. Then, a couple years later, I hear this, go back and look for more. there's something you missed. So I went back deeper. I thought that was the first incident, but there was another incident captured, and I'm going to show you this one. Alright, let's just play it from here.
You can see we're still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my, my old pictures and stuff, and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything, and I captured this one. And we're going to zoom into this streak right up here, this one right here. Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw, she's smiling, she's looking down, and she's holding a baby, and here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head, here's her arm cupped around like this, and she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. See, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her, and you can still make out the baby's head right here. And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th, so this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign, and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God. Yep, it's a lot better there. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better now than before. We'll undo the filter real quick just so you can get the original. Now you can see the baby's head just a little bit better. You can make out his little ear. And then we'll put the filter back in again. And there we go. There's your Revelation 12 baby being born right there in my garage, caught on my security camera. So that's it for now. My next video, I've been capturing deep.
Alright, so, oh cool, you guys saw the baby? Good, good, good. I was hoping you guys would be able to see that. It's kind of hard to see, and I had to run it through some filters to be able to get it. And then we got to do this little tint game, too, to kind of see the baby's head here, but then pull it forward to kind of make out her face and everything, too. So this was on October 4th, and then Mary and Angel showed up October 5th of 2017, just, 10 to 11 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment, okay? So this is all real stuff, you guys. Everything I've shown you, everything I show you is real, all right? This has been quite an ordeal I've been going through here. Excruciatingly painful at the same time. Let's see if we can get this image of this angel up here one more time here. There we go. And we'll kind of close out with that right there with Mary, God, the angel. Jesus is in there somewhere if you know what to look for. Okay, so spiritual realm's real, and the veil is getting thin. And this stuff is starting to show up now, okay? And this was a long time ago. You got to see the stuff that's showing up now. I can't even show you. It's too much. But this stuff, at least I can still bring you and remind you and bring you some hope, okay? Know that the divine and the spiritual realm is real. You're all divine entities. Not just some creature that evolved from an ape or, inbred from an alien test tube or something like that. No. You're all divine. And this is the divine realm showing itself, so you'll know, okay? Now, let me just go back to one whole picture where it's got everything in it there. Right there. Maybe pull it down just a tad bit so we can see everything in it. Alright, and what you're looking at right there, that's an anointing ceremony. It took me forever to figure out what was going on in there, but after going through what I've gone through, I realized what this was an anointing ceremony. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that to you, give you guys a little bit of hope there. Okay, it's a real angel right there with his wings spread. That's feather is crossing from his dimension into ours and going over those brown roof tiles right there. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. I love you guys. I miss you all. Everybody on the East Coast, hunker down. Stay alert on this storm for the next few days with all this energy inbound. Even if you don't have, severe weather predicted for your area, I hope that you still watch your weather, because we weren't supposed to have hail today, and we had hail. So just out of nowhere, the thunderstorms kicked up, and boof, we got some hail. So just watch your weather closely. Also, with this inbound energy, it triggers earthquakes, volcanoes as well. So watch out for more volcano activity, more earthquake activity, and just more wild weather as these things come through and interact with the earth. Okay, and everybody keep praying for each other. Pray for each other's endurance and strength. Just hold on tight, because things are gonna get bumpy, and you got something to hold on to. Okay, I showed you Jesus all the time. That's what you're supposed to hold on to. But here's another image from some of my evidence that I've collected that'll help kind of bring hope that the divine realm is real. Okay, I think that's about it. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And I might try to do another live stream tomorrow. We'll see what happens with the weather and all the events around the world. Okay, that's it for tonight. You all have a good night. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'll be back. I am back with a vengeance.